You're watching NBC10 Live at Issue.
Back on Live at Issue with Philadelphia City Councilman Curtis Jones and Montgomery County Republican Party Chairman Bob Kerns. Let's go right to what may sound like a typical editorial that is pro-Obama. There is an endorsement that's been made the past few days by the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. If we could take a look at part of it. It basically says that in the editorial, over the past 9 months, Mr. Obama, the junior senator from Illinois, has emerged as the only true transformative candidate in the race in the crucible that is a presidential campaign. His intellect, his temperament, and equanimity under pressure consistently have been impressive. He has surrounded himself with smart, capable advisors who have helped him refine thorough, nuanced policy positions. In a word, Mr. Obama has been presidential. The St. Louis Post-Dispatch endorses it, Mr. Kerns.
It's interesting to read that and take a look at the polling. If that was true, Mr. Obama would be up by 50 points. He isn't. There are many, many people in this country who still don't know who this individual is. You can say all the words you want to say. His style is good. He's impressive. But what does he really speak to?
Well, let's pick up on that and get Curtis Jones to respond to this next quote. And this was from Patrick Buchanan in an article that he wrote a couple of days ago. And in this article, if you take a look at this particular segment of it, he writes that there's a double standard, in essence, to any degree, that it has to do with Obama and Bill Ayers and Republicans raising the questions he asked basically if the shoe were on the other foot. Yet one can imagine how the media would have reacted, and they learned that a GOP presidential nominee was introduced to politics and worked in harness with a KKK bomber of black churches in the 1960s, who was quoted the morning of Oklahoma City as saying he wished he had planted more bombs. That from Pat Buchanan, meaning that in asking questions about Bill Ayers, who on 9/11 was published in the New York Times, he said he wished he had planted more bombs. That there's this double standard, Curtis, that Obama's not treated with the same scrutiny that John McCain is.
If I was fighting two wars, an economy that is arguably headed towards recession, arguably depression, I'd want to change the subject from that too. And the only way that the Republicans can win is by these kinds of distractions that when Obama was 8 years old, this guy was handing out terrorist attacks.
Give me a little leeway here to play jouster with you, but it sounds like you're changing the subject from my question just a little bit.
We're going to stay focused on our message.
But do you think that, I mean, people have gone through Sarah Palin's past about questioning whether or not she went to too many colleges and what does that mean? Yeah, we don't know a lot of detail about Columbia, about Occidental, about Harvard Law, about things of that nature about Obama. So is there a double standard?
No, I think he's been vetted both through the Democratic primary, and this wasn't the first time this was brought up. It was brought up in the primary, and people saw it and saw it for what it was, which is a distraction from mortgage foreclosures and gasoline prices and people at dealing with everyday economy.
All right, quick question here. Victor Davis Hanson of the Hoover Institution, writing in National Review Online, basically said that Obama is mostly a rosy emulation of the European Union. That's what he wants. Does he want a Europe in America?
No, people are trying to paint him out to be a socialist. No, he's a solutionary in today's economy, in today's reality, in today's global community, who has to be forward thinking. If we try to do the same things we did last century, we'll wind up with the same results we have now. And I think he's thinking inside and outside of the box.
Governor Sarah Palin was in Philadelphia last night, also campaigning in Johnstown in the state. But last night, she dropped the puck at the Flyers game. You can take a look at this and listen as well, and then we'll ask Bob Kerns and Curtis to comment. The music was playing pretty loudly right there. When she first came out, however, it was a mix of boos and cheers, and a lot of people say more boos. Some people saying not more boos. Was this a smart move for her to go out there, Bob?
I think anytime you go out in public, it's a smart move. She wants to show that she is a person who can deal with all different types of people in all different types of settings. No different than Ed Rendell going on the TV every week to do his by-play with the Eagles, as a matter of fact. It's the kind of publicity that Rendell gets. Sarah Palin needs to get out and be shown and seen in Philadelphia. And obviously in Philadelphia, given the registration ads that the Democrats have, she may get some more boos than cheers.
Clearly, from Market Street to Main Street, the Republican rhetoric isn't working. People understand that they are suffering and that you can bring her in and you can talk about what you want to talk about. If she can't make it in that base, we know what's getting ready to come in November, a resounding victory for the Democrats.
This ethics report that came out Friday night that criticized her, said she abused her power in office by not reining in her husband Todd in trying to get the trooper fired that, according to the Palins, was troublesome to the family. It also, however, said she did not abuse her power in terms of firing the man that supposedly got fired because he did not fire the trooper. So does this play at all in this campaign, or is it just as confusing as it sounded?
From my point of view, it doesn't play in this campaign at all, other than to show that it was put out right before the election. There's no recommendation at all for any action to be taken one way or the other.
Doesn't matter to me or the voters a bit. What's scary is that this woman is a heartbeat away, if they were to win, from being the president of the United States. That's scary.
Cindy McCain, the day that Senator Obama decided to cast a vote, she said, to not fund my son when he was serving sent a cold chill through my body. Isn't that an unfair statement in that it was one particular vote?
I think it shows the pattern. It's not just that vote. It's the pattern that Senator Obama has displayed while he's been a senator, that he falls right in line. You know, people take issue with John McCain about being Bush's surrogate. Well, Senator Obama has fallen in line with the Democratic Party on almost every major vote that's been taken.
Curtis, John McCain in Wisconsin Friday said, I will confront the $10 trillion deficit that the federal government has run up and balance the federal budget by the end of my term in office. That's pretty firm.
That's pretty firm, but pretty unbelievable, considering that somehow you want to divorce yourself from 8 years of Bush doctrine and then say that somehow you're a maverick and the economy is strong and that, you know, we're not in trouble. Yes, we are. He doesn't get it.
Has the imagery, in 10 seconds each, has the imagery of this campaign helped or hurt the campaign by each party?
I think the imagery in this campaign has helped the Republican Party and helped John McCain in the context that he is the maverick that he says he is.
I think it's helped the whole process. More people are paying attention, more people will participate, and in the end, it'll help the Democrats win.
Thank you both. Appreciate you taking the time. Good luck in your campaigns. Up ahead, a way you can help in an important case and a look at how we are being persuaded when Live at Issue comes right back.
You're watching NBC10 Live at Issue.